Hello guys, Griffin Endurance here, coming at you with a video after such a long time, such a long period of downtime, it's crazy. So firstly, I have a ton of stuff I want to share in this video, so for the first time since I've been making updates on my work, I've actually had to pre-write and record this video to try and keep it more, well, compressed. Otherwise I figure I'll probably be going on forever, so first things first, I thought I owed a little bit of an explanation as to why I haven't produced anything for quite some time. It would take a long time to go through it, but needless to say, most of my holiday or vacation time that I requested this year was actually refused by my employer, basically due to it not being convenient for them. They basically screwed me over. I worked for 10 months straight without any holiday, and that time normally makes up a good percentage of the time that I have to work on my projects, so that didn't really help. Ultimately, however, I was able to turn it back on my employer as I now have most of the remaining financial year off as holiday. Yay! That means I can get on with my work, so that's good. Anyway, let's just jump straight in with a little bit of an update on Endurance. I'll start with a little flyby of the ship because, you know, I think I promised that in a past video at some point, so see you in a bit. Alright then, so welcome back to the Endurance. It hasn't changed very much in over a year, but it's nearly done. It's nearly done. So let's just get straight on with the updates and just kind of, well, it's less of an update and more of what's left to do. So really, we've got a little bit of texturing. We've got like this little panel here in engineering, and you can see that I now have the MSD based on the exterior model that I've now made. So you can see we've got the impulse fusion reactors in the aft section there, we've got the cargo bays, we've got the warp field amplifiers, and we've got the big ass impulse engine at the back there, and then at the front you can see the little torpedo bays at the top, and you can see the computer core as opposed to the warp core, because the computer core is actually behind this wall, but so I kind of decided to go with that. Pretty much everything behind here is the same. Let's just run down here quickly. Oh, the Kronos is there. Okay, don't know what that's doing there, but hey-oh. We've now got some, because of the exterior model, I wanted to put some doors to the cargo bay on the exterior model, so we've now got some doors here, lovely doors in both cargo bays. Actually saves up quite a few brushes by getting rid of some of the cargo as well. So it's on both sides there. I'll probably put a little bit of text on there or something like that. But pretty much everything down this end is done, this end of kind of engineering. We've got the little warp field amplifier things here. And obviously, those who didn't watch the last video, I did announce the winners of the vending machine kind of competition, so go back and watch that video to find out who won, and so you can send me your name and a picture and whatnot to go in the Cardassian section in the wanted signs, so don't forget to go and do that. So yeah, pretty much engineering is exactly the same. The whole starboard side of the ship, I believe it is finished. Pretty much I just need to put some fish in there, but pretty much everything down this side's done. I've still got to work on this room. This is one of the hardest things because I have, well, the mapping equivalent of writer's block. So when you basically want to have unique items, unique personal items in both rooms, and I've already filled one room with unique items, and now I'm doing this one, it's kind of like I'm running out of personal items to put around. So if anybody has any ideas for personal items, let me know and I will pop them in here. I've got a couple of little statuette thingies and various other bits and pieces, but if you have any ideas for little knickknacks and stuff I could put in there, that would be welcome. Obviously got the MSD here, and I need to do that screen. Now we've got little tactical displays of the ship, and I don't remember if on my last video I had the NX-01 style captain's chair there, but I decided to put that in. Why not? And then pretty much all we have to do is the Federation Station interior sections. Let's quickly that should do it. So I will just go to...
Destination
Might as well go to there and just show what bits I have to do. Right, so you can see in the middle there, you can see kind of the missing texture down below, and you can also see the docking bay. I've got to actually make this, well, the equivalent of the sets of those, and then do set extensions to make it look like you're flying into something similar to the Skedar one, which I think I've already shown off. So we're just going to dock with that, just so I can use the airlock. But it's pretty much done. I mean, I've got to put the plaque here. That's going to be the last thing. I'll probably bring my my good friend Callum on here to try and break the map, and then we'll put the plaque up. Once I've got it all isolated and merged into the current Asteria pack, I'll send it over to him first, and we can just have a little go. Let's see if he can break stuff. He likes to break stuff, so he should be pretty good at it. Obviously these little bits here are going to be gone. This just says there's stuff in the engine room to finish, and there's stuff over here to finish. Everything else is good to go. So once we've got the set extensions on here, it should look pretty good. It's a big job though. It takes a lot of time to do that. You've got to build the whole interior, you've got to have all the little doors and the little backlit stuff, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So let's go ahead, and the last real place that needs to be finished is it's the alien ship, the Skedar ship. Well, station.
Airlock cycling. Please wait.
I do love these doors. Been like triple
Cycle
rendered.
complete.
I have like 3 different versions of these doors to get them exactly the way I want them to look. Okay, so if we just run along here, there have been some changes I think here where I've kind of condensed everything down to save brushes. So we come in here and you can see all of the little knickknacks here, all from older games. Lots of stuff from other games here. That's from Dead Space, and this is actually from the first Dead Space game. It's a section of corridor that I replicated from the first Dead Space game. Almost as if this kind of these guys, like the Skedar, kind of collect junk or something. And that's my favourite, the engineer from Alien. That one isn't from a game, I just made it. And it took a lot of time. I don't know why I made it, I just wanted one of those in it. Like the whole Prometheus gun thing, I had to have that in there. And then of course we've got our little Dalek here. Now, interesting thing about this Dalek is that it's based, if you remember the kind of Skittle Daleks that everybody hated, myself included. This is, if you go, I'll put a link in the description because there's some interesting schematics and stuff on there, but there's actually a Dalek Builders website where you can get plans to basically build full-size Dalek props, essentially, kind of like you have R2-D2 builders clubs and BB-8 builders clubs and Wally builders clubs, where you can basically build robotic versions of things seen in movies, and there's a Dalek club. And what they did is they took, I liked actually much of the styling of the old Paradigm Daleks. I actually liked the styling, I thought it looked quite unique and quite different, but I didn't like the whole hunched back thing. And this is based on the schematics for what they call the true Paradigm Dalek. So basically it's smaller, and it has the design characteristics of the Paradigm Dalek, but it's not as like colourful. It's got much more of a matte finish to it. Well, not a matte finish to it. This does, because it doesn't have a shiny shader on it, but it's got more of a kind of metallic finish to it, darker colours, doesn't have the humpback. The middle section here with the gun and the arm, that's kind of taller as it used to be, and they've basically kind of maintained the original Dalek shape with these plans, while at the same time adding in the design characteristics, and you'd probably find that a lot more acceptable. So I just wanted to model one, so I modelled a load of them, and then I put them around, I think I put them around a render of the Kronos as well. I have to put an image up of that. But this section here is going to contain like guns and equipment and stuff, and this will contain all the biological samples that I was going on about in previous videos, and then we'll put the transporter pad here. I've had to remove the transporter pad temporarily, but I think it looks much better with like the taller ceiling and the flags and everything, and it seems to have come together quite well. So that's pretty much it. It's there's not a lot to do. What remains is kind of stuff that I'm a bit stuck on, and I haven't entirely decided on all the little bits and pieces that need to to kind of be put in there, and I have a bit of writer's block on personal items and stuff like that. And that's why really I need some time to just sit down and just make stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the ship. Hopefully the ship will be completed soon. If I knew exactly what I wanted to do, I could probably do the work within about 3-4 days, but I'm going to have to try and figure out some of the stuff. So it's not, you know, maybe a couple of weeks I could get it done. And then I've got to break down the pack, integrate it into the current Asteria pack, and then I'll send it over to Callum. He can have a little go on here with me, and we can do a little multiplayer running around, and he can try and break it, then we can put the plaque up, and then that will basically be it. So hopefully now I've got some time off, we should see a release soon. It's very, very close. Again, if anyone has any ideas for little knickknacks, personal items, little weapons or stuff that I can put in the Skedar cargo bay, go ahead, post your ideas. And obviously those who want the vending machine kind of, let's call it a competition, for the suggestions, look at the last video. I'll put a link to it in the description, and that'll tell you what to do to get your name and stuff on the wanted lists in the Cardassian station. So anyway, that covers the kind of update bit. There isn't really much going on. It shouldn't take long now to finish, but really I just wanted to show you guys where it was at. Now basically the last part of this video is going to be, there are going to be some changes to essentially what I work on and my YouTube channel. If you were to go off looking now, you'd find that the Star Trek Freelance website has been taken down. My website has been wiped clean and just has a blank page. I believe with a link to where you can download the Asteria pack, and that's it. My Let's Play channel has been deleted, and all but I think 3 of my videos on this channel have been switched to unlisted and put in a playlist. Might delete them ultimately in the end, but at the moment they're just in a playlist, and that will all become evident in the next part of the video. There's going to be some massive changes to what I'm essentially working on and what kind of videos and stuff I'm going to do after Endurance is finished, and there's a lot to go through. It's a mix of good and bad news. It will sound mostly like bad, but yeah, stick around for that. If you're only interested in the update, there it is. Hopefully a few weeks time we should see a release, hopefully, if all goes well. So thanks for watching. If you want to stick around for the statement that I've already recorded, I'll play that now. And yeah, cheers guys, thanks. So what do I want to go over in this bit of the video? Well, basically I want to talk about the future of this channel and of my own creative works. This channel was originally set to be my development channel, where essentially I talk about the projects that I'm working on. And after working on quite a few Elite Force and RPGX projects and maps, it kind of became a very Star Trek-y themed channel. A lot of you guys are here because of the Star Trek theme, so I kind of kept it that way. The problem is that since the 2009 reboot of the Star Trek franchise, I've been struggling to get into it, to separate it from the rest of the Star Trek franchise, and at the same time enjoy it as its own separate entity. It should be no secret that I'm not exactly a fan of the post-2009 Star Trek movies. I will also admit that I don't like Discovery. I'm not a sci-fi fan. I don't necessarily like all sci-fi. So, for example, I don't like Andromeda or Stargate Atlantis or Farscape or Firefly. I've always been a massive Trek fan due to a lot of factors that are unique to it as a franchise. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I believe that since 2009, the franchise has lost a lot of what makes it Star Trek, and what I look for in Star Trek as a show or movie. So, to put it bluntly, Star Trek has become a franchise that simply doesn't appeal to me as a viewer anymore. If it wasn't called Star Trek, I simply wouldn't have bothered to sit through any more than the first movie. When I actually watched JJ Star Trek, I was advised by friends who'd seen it before me, who were also Trek fans, to watch it as its own film, and not try to hold it up to the first 5 series of Star Trek and, you know, the other movies. Just watch it as its own thing. And I did this, and to my surprise found myself about halfway through the film counting the spotlights hidden in the ceiling of the movie theatre, because I was just so bored. But it was called Star Trek, and everyone always says, you know, give it a fair try, so I did. I watched Into Darkness and then Beyond, and by that point realised that it just wasn't for me. And during this period, I went through the 5 stages of grief, as you do when you lose touch with a franchise that you've loved for so long. For those who remember my freelance mod, the Romulus Supernova never happened in that universe, so that's your kind of denial stage, just ignore it. Then I got angry, focusing most of my anger on the creators of the movie. Then I refused to pay to see J.J. Abrams movies, or movies written by the same people, which I suppose was my way of bargaining. And then by the time I watched Beyond, I was at the kind of like depression stage, where I realised that it wasn't going to get any better. And then this year with Discovery, I reached the acceptance stage. I realised Star Trek was never going to be what I wanted, and that it had lost what I personally enjoyed about the franchise. Furthermore, because of its relation to the older 5 series and the fact that it's considered canon in that universe, especially with parts of Beyond and with the new Discovery series, I found that it tainted the older series. Kind of like keeping cooked meat and raw meat in the, same tray. If I watch any older episodes or even play the older games now, I find myself that instead of being enjoyable or reminding me of the joys this franchise gave me in the past, I'm reminded constantly of what it's become today. To conclude, I've basically decided to indefinitely turn my back on the franchise. I don't feel I have anything to gain by following it any further or revisiting it, so I've decided to move away from it. I harbour no ill will against the people who work on it, and obviously trying to make an exciting new show for new audiences, and I just hope that this generation of kids and teens and stuff out there get as much from this franchise as I did when I was younger. But as far as I'm concerned, it's not for me. So this makes the completion of Endurance and the rest of the Asteria Pack the last Trek fan project I will ever work on. It also means the last few update videos before its completion will be the last Trek-themed videos on this channel. Now, I don't want to see new subscribers appearing for the sole purpose of Star Trek-themed stuff on this channel, or for people to be aimlessly posting when you're making another Starship comment. So, with the release of this video, I have unlisted all previous update videos and Star Trek-themed content on this channel. I was thinking of deleting them, but I thought no, I'll enlist them, and I've placed them in a couple of playlists on my channel page. It's not out of spite or anything like that, but simply because people still stumble upon your old videos and subscribe to your channel wanting more of the same content, and I don't think it's fair to attract such viewers when the content on this channel is going to be moving largely in a new direction. Now, I'll have a lot of work to do this year. I have to take down my old freelance website and restructure my YouTube channel to suit the change and determine exactly what new direction I'm going to be moving in with this channel. I imagine it will still be for posting updates and other random stuff related to my work, but the nature of my work will definitely be changing. I just thought I'd release this information now so you guys know when the Endurance is Out video comes along. Well, you can unsubscribe if that's the only reason you are here, and that'll be it. But also just to, generally prepare you for the change. As I said, I'm in the acceptance stage. I don't see it as the end of anything or something to be, sad about. In fact, I see it as an opportunity to try something new, to expand into new areas and really take my creativity to a new level without being bound to a single franchise. I can essentially create my own games, or mod other things, or create whatever I want. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, and I'm excited about it, Hopefully you will be too when I tease some of the other things I'm working on and have ultimately had some time to plan for the future. So if you decide it's not for you, then I'll take the opportunity now to say thank you for all your support on my Trek-related projects in the past. I've enjoyed the opportunity to share in such a rich and diverse franchise and to have the feedback and support of you guys, that have followed me along the way, so thank you for that. And hopefully as soon as possible we'll see the release of the completed Asteria Pack, and let's hope everything actually works when you download it. But until then, live long and prosper, guys. Have fun.